Okay, stop. This video is not like all those other ones with the dreamy drone footage. We've got boots on the ground in Puglia, and we're going to take you on an epic road trip where we'll see all the highlights of this beautiful region of Italy. In this video, we'll tour the Trulli in Alberobello, follow James Bond to the streets of Matera, and learn the shameful history of the Sassi cave dwellings. We'll bake focaccia at a cooking class in Bari. Now it's time to eat. Make a pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Nicholas. And sample the seafood in Polignano al Mare. But first, how to get there. Puglia is located in the heel of Italy's boot. Budget airlines like Ryanair fly to airports in Bari and in Brindisi. That's where we rented a car to see as much of the region as possible in 3 days. Okay, we're on the road for a 3-day trip in Puglia. And only about 1 hour away from the Brindisi airport, here we are in Alberobello having lunch. So cheers, and also check out one of the specialties of the region. Burrata cheese was invented by farmers mixing leftover mozzarella curds with fresh cream and putting the stracciatella in an edible pouch. It was a delicious introduction to the local food, and we were ready to explore the Trulli of Alberobello. Traditional Trulli were built without mortar.
There is really nothing between those stones.
Today, they are UNESCO World Heritage. And many have been renovated as businesses or tourist accommodations. Alberobello is a pretty good example of why you want to come to Puglia in the off-season in November. Can you imagine what it would be like here in the warmer months on a really hot day when each of these charming streets is packed with tourists? It was much better in the off-season. The downside is that many businesses were closed in the downtime between the busy summer tourist season and the holiday markets. Most of the open restaurants in the empty town square were touristy pizza places, and we were glad we chose not to stay overnight in Alberobello. Even in the rain, it was easy to see why Puglia is being talked about as the next Tuscany, the next hot area in Italy. But we were here to visit a place with a different kind of reputation. Bond. James Bond. Matera was the backdrop for 007's adventures in the film No Time to Die. But for us, it was time for an evening walk around the busy shopping area in the renovated old city. It felt lived in and not so touristy, with splendid views around every turn. We were ready to take a break for some fine dining, including the cialetta fredda tomato and bread salad, classic main courses, and the local Primitivo wine at the very Italian dinner hour of 8 p.m. Checking in to the delightful Belvedere Hotel, we drifted off to sleep in rooms made out of ancient caves with all the modern conveniences. Next morning, up bright and early for breakfast, and we're ready to explore Matera. A flat and relatively easy walk brought us to Matera's cathedral. Its rather plain Romanesque facade doesn't prepare you for the glorious, art-filled interior. There is even a nativity scene depicting the Holy Family in one of Matera's Sassi cave dwellings. Matera is one of the oldest occupied places in the world, but by the early 20th century, the people living in the caves were suffering extreme poverty. Matera became known as the shame of Italy. In the 1980s, people began renovating the caves as restaurants and hotels, and in 1993, Matera was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Cave Dwelling Museum shows how generations of desperately poor families managed to survive in the Sassi, with no plumbing and little ventilation, and sharing their space with horses, cows, and chickens. Don't miss the rock church of Santa Maria of Idris. Go inside to admire the Byzantine frescoes and the crypt of a local saint. Exploring the Sassi district on foot is not for the timid. Your modern GPS will be confused. No cars allowed. Staying there means you'll be lugging your suitcase. Allow at least 2 or 3 hours for sightseeing. But I could have spent days exploring the maze of paths through the cliffside rocks and memorable viewpoints. Okay, so technically Matera is not part of Puglia. It's in the neighboring region of Basilica. But this place is a wow, and it should definitely be a stop on your epic road trip to Puglia. Once again, we're on the road to Bari, and I have to say that Luba deserves an award for her great driving, because Matera was super complicated to drive in without getting in a car accident. She did really great. Also, have plenty of service on your phone, because the GPS in our car was not working. Bari feels like a very busy port city, but it has a very charming old town center, and that's where we came to take a cooking class. Never mind the pasta grannies who sell pre-packaged pasta and even t-shirts to their fans. We went to a secret location in the old town to cook with Mariella. I'm ready to learn some Italian cooking. She showed us how to prepare the focaccia dough, topping it with olives and fresh tomatoes. Now it's time to eat.
I think this is better than the one we bought today. Yeah.
Really fresh tomatoes.
Movement with your fingers. Everything in one step.
We were less successful at making Puglia's famous orechiette pasta, shaped like little ears. Our best efforts at playing with the dough ended up in the waste bin, while we were served a plate of previously prepared pasta in a thin tomato sauce. So we headed back to the streets in search of real food, finding many places were closed for the off-season. It was time to relax with an aperitivo. And then a dessert known as Nun's Tits, with a picture that looked a lot like my 6th grade teacher's Sister Peter. I had la teta de la monaca for breakfast, and I'm not sorry. It's good. No visit to Bari would be complete without a pilgrimage to the Basilica of St. Nicholas, a saint who is revered by both the Orthodox and Catholic believers, and you may know him better as Santa Claus. St. Nicholas is best known as the patron saint of children. The crypt where the saint's relics are stored can be crowded with tour groups in the afternoon. Visit in the morning for a more peaceful experience. Checking out of our bed and breakfast in Bari, we drove along the coast to Polignano al Mare, famous for its rocky beach surrounded by cliffs. We didn't feel much like swimming in November, but that didn't stop everyone. Even in the off-peak season, the old town was filled with people enjoying the views. And we made time to try the local seafood specialty, octopus. Polignano al Mare takes pride in poetry, from Dostoevsky to the Doors. The nearby town of Monopoli is more peaceful. A Venetian harbor, charming streets, and, of course, the perfect coffee spot. Turning off the road from the seaside, we were in a country full of beautiful olive trees and on the road to Ostuni. There was so much to discover in this historic white hilltop town, including a family-owned restaurant that well deserves its recognition from both Michelin and Bib Gourmand. Staying in a lovingly restored Ostuni house came with a few modern surprises. The rooftop was just perfect for a simple but splendid aperitivo of local food and wine. Our 3 days in Puglia were packed with food and fun, but only scratched the surface of what the region has to offer. Check out the video description for the links to where we stayed and where we ate. So, after 72 hours, our epic road trip in Puglia has come to an end. Thank you for coming along with us, and just a few final thoughts. By far the biggest challenge was the driving. Italian drivers have their own way of taking over the roads, and especially in the small villages, the roads are really narrow, and we preferred to park in secure parking at the edge of the village and walk to our accommodation. Otherwise, everywhere we went, people were friendly, the food was amazing, and I highly recommend that you visit this place now before it gets even more popular and more discovered than it already is. Don't forget to subscribe to the Terry Anzer YouTube channel for more fun travel videos from all over the world. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you've been to Puglia. Thanks for watching, and don't be a stranger.